Alright, hello YouTube. So today I want to talk about some ways to actually detect A3 growing. So I've asked a little while ago for suggestions of things I could try and explain that like no one else has really explained about some technical stuff on Minecraft, like related to farms. Like I'm not super smart. I'm not a code digger or anything. But yeah, this was one thing that was requested. How do you detect trees growing? So I want to talk about a few ways that exist to detect a tree growing. So we'll go with like the most basic way to detect a tree. Literally a comparator. So when you have bone meal inside of this, which is right there. Okay, oh, come on. Yeah, so you have bone meal like that, and you would have like your tree growing like this, and you would trigger this comparator to detect the tree growing. So that can happen within 2 game ticks because, well, the comparator is gonna take 2 game ticks to actually send a signal through. So that's nice. But if you use a comparator like this, well, you're just blocking a spot for another dispenser here, and another here, and maybe even another here. But that's gonna depend of your layout. A bunch of farms use 3 dispensers because, well, it's kind of easier to wire. Some others are going to use 4 for max speed, and then you have to like crouch and sneak to actually put your saplings there. So if you have something like this, I'm not even sure. Let's just say there are 2 instead. Okay, that's gonna make stuff easier for me because I'm not that smart. Okay, so let's just say we put the. Let's just say we use dust instead because it's cheaper. Yeah, we can do this instead and literally just put a piston over here that's going to have some stuff like that. And let's just say you run a redstone wire over here. All right. So the idea is whenever you have a tree growing, it's gonna allow this redstone dust to power this block, and that QC powers the piston. So then it can power. But then if you want to use something like this, well, you need something to like keep clocking. Fuck, I got this lever now. Let's just do this. Yeah, you're just going to need something that keeps clocking to update the piston. So like that. And now if I put a log over here, this is going to extend the piston within like 2 game ticks again, because, well, that's how fast we can realistically clock this. I don't actually know if you can use a 1 game tick clock to update this. I've tried once, but it didn't work, but maybe I just did it wrong. So don't quote me on anything like that. Other than that, some other ways you can use to detect trees growing is literally just having an observer reading leaves like that. But I don't know, that feels kinda shit. And you have 1 game tick of delay over here for the leaf, and a 2 game tick delay. Now, if you have your tree, if the leaf generate right in front of the observer, it's only gonna be like 2 game ticks because, well, it's gonna notice it right away. But if it's the log that gets placed and then updates pre-existing leaf, it's gonna wait one more game tick. So that's another way you can use. Now, in theory, like, I think that the best way is probably like literally using like a bud like this. So when your tree is growing, it's just going to generate, and whenever it generates, it's going to update this right away. So from this, you can chain whatever you need to update the piston pushing. Like, I don't know, maybe you would pretend that this piston is over here. Yeah, so see, that would push like instantly. So that's one great way to do it. Now the next thing that I want to show is it's brand new actually. So currently I'm playing in 1.17.1, so I can't really show it working, but I can assure you that it does work in 1.20 and above. Now this thing has a bug report on it right now, so it might get changed later. So I don't know how it'll be. But when a tree grows, like it'll grow like this. Now this tree is going to have like a bounding box around it, right? So the bounding box would be like a cube like this that's going to follow the whole tree like that, and that is the cube that contains the whole tree. In 1.20 there was a change made to this whole structure to change how leaves decay, if I remember correctly. And doing that, they also changed how logs work. And basically, how would I say that? Like, if there are logs that are within your bounding box, the game is basically just going to delete it and place it back or something. And so if you have an observer that's looking at a log that's within the bounding box that the tree is going to grow in, an observer is going to be able to detect that. So like literally your tree is just going to grow like this, and just having a log in here inside the bounding box is going to trigger this observer. So that's one way to do it. But I think the most popular way to detect trees growing for advanced tree farm is using something like this, which is like a through dirt retraction, using a, how do you call that? A push limit detector, that's the name. So with something like this, you can put dispensers like this in a 4x4, and you're just going to literally take the log, retract it in here, and push it to the side. This thing right there is something that was made by Hamter, and I believe I found it on the Tree Huggers Discord, right? It's someone who actually shared this thing to me. But yeah, credits to Hamter for this. Alright, so if I activate this, it's just going to literally detect that we have a log. Like, actually, it doesn't literally detect if there's a log, it detects anything really. But yeah, this is great. I'm not going to actually explain how this thing works. Not that I would be able to do that anyway. But I'll leave a link in the video description if you want to learn more about this. as well as the new 1.20 thing using the logs. It's called Logstone. Really cool. But yeah, these are the main ways that are used for a tree detection in a tree farm. So hope that helps, and see you.